Just talking to the Secretary of State. Last night we had a conversation, we interviewed him, and he was telling me that there is a concern that younger voters, people who don't have a signature yet, or they're maybe getting used to their signature, they're presenting an issue because when they register to vote and when they vote, the ballot and the registration signatures might not match. And that means that those ballots are going to go into the curing process. That curing process could really delay this election. He was just telling me right now that that number keeps increasing, that now it's over 11,000 votes here in Clark County alone. And just to give you an idea of how relevant that is over a third of how much Biden won in 2020. And that is far more than the 7,000 votes with which Senator Catherine Cortez Masto maintained the Democrat majority in the Senate. So if those votes still need to be cured and the number remains that high and the election comes down to Nevada, there's a deadline by which the cured votes need to be cured, and that is November 12th. So we might spend a really long time here if that's the case. Lindsay?
All right, Lily Luciano, thank you. The FBI is warning Americans about two new fake videos that were likely created by a Russian disinformation group. They make false claims about terror threats and voter fraud. In a statement, the FBI says it, quote, was made aware of two instances of its name and insignia being misused in promoting false narratives surrounding the election. It went on to say, quote, attempts to deceive the public with false content about FBI threat assessments and activities aimed to undermine our democratic process and erode trust in the electoral system. Rona Tarrant is here with me in Studio 57. She's the executive editor of our CBS News Confirmed team. Rona, what more can you tell us about these videos?
So the FBI came out today with a new warning about these new videos that look like they come from the FBI. Now, they have their logo on them and they look very professionally produced. They claim that there are some threats to voter stations, but also that there's voter fraud happening across the United States. Now, the FBI says these are not our videos. We did not produce these. It comes days after they issued a similar warning over the weekend about similar videos. Now, the CBS News Confirmed team also found that this same group, which is likely Russian disinformation actors, also created videos that looked like CBS News reporting and Fox News reporting that warned people to stay home from the polls, warning about a fabricated terror threat. Now, what we know about this group is they've been active since around 2023, and they typically put out these videos mimicking officials and mimicking news organizations. Now, for the most part, officials usually ignore them. They don't really go far online. They don't really do much. But the fact that it's happening around the election has really raised the stakes, and it's prompted officials to come out and make these warnings so that people don't get misled and that they do actually show up to vote.
There have been plenty of misinformation campaigns, particularly in battleground states. This morning, though, voting machines went down in Cambria County, Pennsylvania. That's about 72 miles east of Pittsburgh. What are you hearing about what's going on there? What's real, what's not?
So there was an issue this morning. So a local court actually extended voting hours from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So there were some issues with software there this morning that prevented some people from scanning their ballots. Now, there was a backup in place. People were still able to proceed with paper ballots, and local officials said that, you know, they will be able to vote. Everyone will be able to cast their vote. So the important thing to remember here is there's always backups in place if there are any issues, and there will be issues. But what we're seeing online is people are picking up these isolated incidents. They're pointing to the fact that former President Donald Trump won this county in 2020 and making all kinds of allegations that people are not being able to vote. They are being able to vote, and local officials are reassuring people that they can cast their ballots today.
Got to be quick with you on this, but there have also been a number of allegations that non-citizens are voting in Pennsylvania. What can you tell us?
So in Philadelphia, a new video yesterday that racked up millions of views alleged that non-citizens were allowed to vote in Philadelphia or being signed up. Local officials come out very strongly against this today. They said there's no evidence of this, that only citizens can vote in federal elections. And actually, the Philadelphia DA came out today as well, and he said there is no evidence of this, and that if people do have legitimate evidence of voter fraud, they can come to him. But they have absolutely no evidence of it.
Okay. Rona Tarrant, thank you so much. Be sure to stay with us for coverage all day. You can watch Election Night with the CBS News team live from our election headquarters in New York and with our teams spread out across the country. Join us for real-time results, analysis, and exclusive polling. Coverage starts at 4 p.m. Eastern here on CBS News 24/7 and at 7 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Stay with us.
Okay, so let's just start at the beginning.
Well, let me start with this.
What is at stake here?
What is the answer then?
Do you know why?
You want me to just keep going?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Were there death threats?
How is this possible?
What's wrong with that argument?
Are you saying they lied?
Have you told the government that?
Why won't you say the word crisis?
You're not answering my question.
Is this really
Is that scary?
Does that make sense?
What do you mean?
What does that mean in